What's up? It's Curry Spice back with another video on my way to work, and about to grab a salad. Which salad do I want? Oh, I think I'll take this one. I love this one, it's so good. So I'm at Target, one of my favorite places to shop. I've been trying to stay away though because I tend to get kind of
he has a bunch of yogurt still.
I tend to get kind of obsessed with Target, so I'm looking around before my bus departs. It's at the layover right now. Okay, so just got out the bus. I was with a coworker. I walk to work after I get off this bus, the bus I just got off, but she doesn't walk. so she just told me, like, girl, I'll meet you at work. But yeah, she's funny. But yeah, so I want to continue the conversation about She's Gotta Have It. That's what I want this episode to be about. So I'm obsessed with this show. I was off yesterday. I watched the movie. The movie's originally from the late 80s. She's Gotta Have It. It's a Spike Lee movie. And they rebooted the movie into a television series. And I watched the first season on Netflix. And I'm so obsessed. I finished this season, well, I finished season 1. I think they're going to have season 2 that airs. I don't know when it's going to air though. If it hasn't already aired. But I'm obsessed with the premise. I love the characters in the movie and in the series. I love it so much. And I'm actually watching the series over again. It's super rare for me to find a series that's like a recent series, like in the last 5 years or so, where I could just watch it over and over. It's really difficult for me to find that, because in classics, like movies from the 90s or movies from the 80s, I love them so much. Well, there's certain movies, but I love them so much that they are legit classics that you could watch over and over. And I feel like She's Gotta Have It is one of those movies and series that you can watch over and over, because I feel like it's a classic. It could be relatable to some people, just the premise of it, and I love how in the series there were some elements that were in the series that weren't in the movie. I love that. So it wasn't like an actual reboot. It wasn't like a direct reboot where every single element and saying and sentence was copied from the movie and brought into the series. It wasn't like that. There were certain sentences and certain elements that were copied, but not everything was copied. Some things they gave gave a new meaning to certain elements, but yeah, I'm really loving on it. The Wanda Wise is incredible, and she's gorgeous. I don't know what else to say. I'm loving it so much. I like how they made the series more relatable in the aspect of like the way she looks. Like, she has a septum jewelry. She has she smokes weed, and that's like things that people do in you know, these times, these current times. She had waist jewelry that she was wearing. I'm just digging her whole vibe. But I feel like She's Gotta Have It can be controversial for some people because it celebrates female empowerment and control. And society, like in society, we as women are taught that we are supposed to be nurturers of other people. We're not supposed to nurture ourselves. We're not supposed to self-indulge. Whereas men, on the other hand, men can self-indulge, men can sow their oats, and women have always been frowned upon when they act like a guy in the sense of sowing their oats and being free-spirited or like in any kind of way. Women are not taught to embrace their sexuality or to be, they're not taught to be sexually fluid. And I feel like it's a double standard because we live in times where whatever a man can do, a woman can do. Yes, I know there are some limitations with that because physically, on the physical aspect, for one, because men have more muscle mass than women, so men might be able to lift more than women can physically. But there are female bodybuilders out there at the same time. So it kind of brings back what I said about whatever a man can do, a woman can do. I can relate to She's Gotta Have It because I like to have control over my life. I'm not talking about sexual. I'm not talking about the sexual part. But just like overall. Overall in my life, I like to have control. And I feel like the characters the character from the movie and the character from the series who both play Nola Darling, I feel like they did an incredible job. They did an incredible job in their role. They owned that role. They made the role their own. And I take my hat off. I take my hat off to both of them. It was incredible. I'm super late watching the movie. This is 2018, and this movie's from like the late 80s. And I'm just catching on. I'm just like riding on the coattails of the the bandwagon, if you could even say that, of this series. So I'm at the tail end of the hype of She's Gotta Have It for this series. And I'm happy. I'm really happy. It's actually, his work is starting to make me a Spike Lee fan. I think, because I've never got around to watching Spike Lee's movies before. But now I think he might have a fan in me because I'm impressed with She's Gotta Have It. I'm really impressed with it. I feel like it was very tasteful. Well, let me take that back. The movie had nude scenes in it, mostly centered on the female nude scenes, not so much on male nude scenes. I don't think there really were any male nude scenes, or if they were, it wasn't like a full frontal nude where it was like showing the man's genitals or anything like that. Whereas the female breasts were shown, things like that. So it was a very intimate movie and an even more intimate series. With the series, with the sexuality is more off the charts. It was not as much left to the imagination in the series as it was in the movie. in the series, I should say, uh, yeah, that's the best way I could say it. There was nothing left to the imagination. Like, it was more like hardcore sex scenes, as hardcore as can be for Netflix. Maybe not the hardest of hardcore, but is somewhat hardcore. She's Gotta Have It is definitely not for kids. I do not recommend a child to watch She's Gotta Have It, unless you're 18 or over. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I love the characters. I love the premise. I normally don't like reboots of classic movies. I usually don't like it. But I think this time I'm okay with it because I saw the reboot series first. And then once I was done with the series, then I saw the movie. So I think because of that, I have a different opinion as opposed to what other people might think. Anyone who has maybe saw the movie first and then gave the series a chance. But yeah, but I have no complaints so far. I don't know how they're gonna do a second season because I feel like the first season started perfectly and it ended perfectly. I'm not exactly sure how there's going to be a second season, how that's going to play out, but I would love to see that. I know there's some different scenarios they could definitely go with on that. There are a couple of expectations I would like to see in the second season. And that's pretty much it. I'm actually in the process of rewatching the series. I was actually watching it on the bus heading here. So, but yeah, I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. I haven't found a show that I've been so obsessed about in a really long time. But yeah, I think that's about it for this. If there's anything I failed to mention about the series, perhaps I can talk about it in another episode. Just comment down below. Okay guys, so one more thing before I go. I forgot to mention, it was about how relatable the series is for She's Gotta Have It. So I love how the star DeWanda Wise, her character is I don't want to say a starving artist, but something like a starving artist. I really love that. I can relate to that because I'm an English major. I'm somewhat of an artist myself. I have sketched, but I'm a creator at heart. Written poetry and things like that. So I can relate. I can relate to the whole starving artist concept. Or at least that's the way I saw it. I don't know if anyone else sees it that way, but yeah, I like that she's not rich or well off because that makes her even more relatable. Because it's easier for the audience to put themselves into the series as the character, like to put themselves in the character's shoes, because it's like Sex and the City, for example. It's difficult to relate to that. I mean, you might be able to find some ways to relate to that, but it's harder to relate to it because if you as an audience member are poor and you're watching Carrie Bradshaw and she might not be the richest woman, but she's well off because look at her wardrobe. She could afford all these different gowns and, you know, Vera Wang and, you know, like Givenchy, and like she can afford that stuff. But someone who lives next door at Skid Row can't afford that, you know. So that's one of the other reasons why I like She's Gotta Have It, because I can insert myself into the Wanda Wise's character's shoes, because it's easy for me because I'm watching a starving artist, you know, and I'm a starving artist myself. So, but yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to say. If there's anything else that comes up, I don't know, maybe I'll make another video. Okay, bye everyone. Looking to spice up your life one episode at a time. Okay guys, okay, I keep coming back. Don't mind the background. I don't know what happened, but anyway. One more thing I wanted to say about this movie, or series, or both, is that with Spike Lee's direction style, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I guess, yeah, not to offend him at all. I hope he doesn't take offense to this if he's watching this, but he was like the original Tyler Perry, you know? And I take that as a compliment, or I mean that as a compliment, because I love Tyler Perry. And Spike Lee had something about his style, his direction style, that put him on the map. So he knows what he's doing. The guy's not stupid. He's rich for a reason. So, but yeah, I definitely take my hat off to Spike Lee. I kind of got this vibe from the movie and the series. It was kind of like a Woody Allen kind of vibe, but it was like a Woody Allen movie for black people. That's kind of like what I got. That's kind of what I got from it. But I love that vibe. I love that vibe because, you know, some people have their Woody Allen movies to identify with, and we have Spike Lee. We have Spike Lee. We have Tyler Perry. You know, so everyone has their poison. Everyone picks their poison the way they see fit. And Spike Lee is one poison out of many. And I say poison as a compliment. Just like Belle Biv DeVoe. How they meant poison as a compliment. But okay, I think I'm finally done with this episode. I just had a lot to say about She's Gotta Have It because I was really enjoying it. So I guess that means I gotta have it. Okay guys, I think I'm finally leaving this time. Bye.